You know, it's about time we had a cool character come to Genshin. Arlecchino, I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, is going to end up being the latest Fatui Harbinger, which means that somehow within the story she's going to have to turn out to be a good guy, because Chinese media has a rule where you can never play as the villain. Anyways, she is a 5-star polearm pyro user. Here's her new weapon. But almost all of her attack animations, she actually pulls out a scythe. There's also a couple new sets of artifacts coming out, but I'm getting a little ahead of myself. Here's the different banners that you can expect to come with the update. And here's the Ascension card with all of the materials. There's also a couple new materials, which means that you won't be able to fully prepare for this character. So the normal attacks of this character are actually different than most. We're gonna skip to the plunging attack, which is damage opponents along the path, dealing area effect damage on impact. But more importantly, there's going to end up being the Mask of the Red Death. So when she has a bond of life equal to or greater than 20% of her max HP, she will enter the Mask of Death state, where her normal, charged, and plunging attacks will be converted into pyro damage and cannot be overridden. When in the Red Death state, her normal attacks will deal extra damage to opponents on hit that scales off of her attack multiplied by a certain ratio of her bond of life percentage. This will consume 6.5% of said current bond of life. Her bond of life can be consumed this way every 0.05 seconds. I wonder if that's a typo and it's supposed to be 0.5. When her bond of life is consumed in this manner, all is ash cooldown will be decreased by 0.8 seconds. Now, if any of that was confusing, it's because it ties directly into her elemental skill, which is all is ash, and we'll get into it. Summons forth a Bale Moon Bloodfire, dealing pyro damage to multiple nearby opponents, and performs a dashing cleave against one of them, dealing area of effect pyro damage. Opponents hit by the aforementioned attack will have a Blood Debt directive applied to them. The Blood Debt directive has the following effect. So it lasts 30 seconds, and every 5 seconds it'll deal 1 instance of pyro damage to the opponent, with a maximum up to 2 instances. This damage will be considered elemental skill damage. When Arlecchino uses a charged attack or Bale Moon Rising, she will absorb and clear nearby Blood Debt directives. Each directive absorbed grants her a bond of life worth 40% of her max HP. The maximum value of the bond of life she can be granted through Blood Debt directives within 35 seconds after using her elemental skill is 80% of her max HP. Using the elemental skill again during this duration will restart the count on duration and the limit on the value of bond of life she may gain from Blood Debt directives. I wonder if the in-game description is just as convoluted. Like, I don't know, man. I just to put my own 2 cents into it, like, what a mouthful of words. Moving on to her ultimate ability, Bale Moon Rising. Arlecchino's Wings of Bale Moon Bloodfire beat, dealing area of effect pyro damage before clearing the cooldown of all is ash and healing her. The healing is based on her bond of life value and attack. Moving on to her passive abilities. While in combat, Arlecchino gains a 40% pyro damage bonus and can only be healed through Bale Moon Rising. Blood Debt directives have the following characteristics. When defeating an opponent with a directive, Arlecchino will be granted a life bond worth 70% of her max HP. 5 seconds after a directive is applied, it will be upgraded to a Blood Debt due. When absorbed, it will instead grant Arlecchino a bond of life worth 70%. A bond of life created in the aforementioned way cannot exceed the original limit on the value of bonds of life obtained through All is Ash. Her last passive is that she will gain 1% all elemental and physical resistance every 100 attack that she has in excess of 1,000. The maximum resistance increase she can get this way is up to 20%. Moving on to her constellations, her C1. Mask of the Red Death is further enhanced. The value is increased to 120%. Additionally, Arlecchino's interruption resistance is increased when she performs normal attacks while affected by the Mask of Red Death. Her C2. Blood Debt directives are now already Blood Debt due when first applied. When she absorbs such a due, she unleashes Bale Moon Bloodfire in front of her, dealing 900% of her attack as area of effect pyro damage. This effect can trigger once every 10 seconds, and you must first unlock the passive talent Agony Alone May Be Repaid. And weirdly enough, her C3 actually gives 3 levels to her normal attacks, not her skills or her ult. Her C4, when she successfully absorbs a Blood Debt Directive, Blood Moon Rising's cooldown will be decreased by 2 seconds, and 15 energy will be restored to her. This effect can occur once every 10 seconds. Her C5 increases her ultimate by 3 levels, and her C6, the damage of Bale Moon Rising is increased by Arlecchino's attack multiplied by 700% of her current life bond percentage. For 20 seconds after she uses All is Ash, both her normal attacks and elemental burst gain 10% crit rate and 70% increased crit damage. This effect can be triggered once every 15 seconds. If you found this video helpful, please like. You can subscribe for more, even though I don't really cover Genshin that much anymore. I do always cover these new characters.